Hello everyone, Emitus here. Sorry for the late video. Today we are going to talk about what's new in FlutterFlow. The update dropped in June 20th, but today is June 26th, the time of the date of the release of this video. But I am currently traveling, so I'm using a new mic. I hope this mic it's at least as good as the last one. And then, like I said, sorry about the late update. I'll try to do my best to keep you up to date as soon as fast as possible. And today we are going to talk about new actions, two new actions, a new widget, and some new features for building custom and beautiful UIs. And one of the biggest thing from this update is that FlutterFlow is actually moving to Flutter 3.10. And before that, it was Flutter 3.7. But right now, it's Flutter 3.10. And this is actually huge. And this is some of your dependency. If you're using a custom code, some of your dependency may break. But I really recommend you to actually watch my video, in which I'm actually explaining. It's this one over here, in which I'm actually explaining how you can use which technique you can use to actually not write the version of the package, but just write any. This is actually good because if in the future FlutterFlow upgrades Flutter, your packages should still work and not break. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure to watch it. And yeah, let's dive into it. What's new in FlutterFlow today? So let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing, which is Firestore Query action. The Firestore Query action is actually a big thing, and because it's so big, I actually did a video about it, a separate video, when they officially release it or when they release it in the production version. And it's actually this one. It's Firebase collection queries simplified. And I talked in this video, actually, I talked about it's around 30-minute video, and I talked about how you can use it, why you should use it, in which use cases you can use it, and it's very simple, and it's very powerful actually, because you can use it in a lot of ways. Previously you had to do it with a custom code, but right now you can just query it and it should work. And there was an issue actually with the FlutterFlow. When I recorded a video, I had an issues, but I reported this issue, and right now FlutterFlow actually fixed that. So if you have any issues, let me know so I can report them, or you can report them in the GitHub yourself. But basically, it's just you need to add a new action, and then when you add a new action, you can actually select Firebase query and then query a collection, and then the collection you want to query. Do you want to get a list or a single document? I had a problems getting a single document. That's why I always getting a list right now. And then it's very important to actually write the action output variable name, which will be, in my case, the list of documents. And then I can use that in my, for example, if I have a colon and I have generated children, I can use it from here, right? I can use it from action output, and I can put it over here. And then I can use the output from here. So like I said, I did a video about it, so watch it if you haven't watched it already. And let's move to the second one, the sticky header widget. So the sticky header widget stays put at the top of the screen while the rest of the content scrolls beneath. For example, while you're scrolling through listing on Airbnb, the search bar and the filters stay fixed on the top of your screen. That's the sticky header. It ensures the key functionality remains within reach no matter where your browsing journey takes you. And this is actually a more like a UI experience or a new feature for. It's much appreciated actually because previously we didn't have this functionality, so it was hard to do it. We had to do it like with some kind of fix or workaround or something like that. But right now it's working out of the box. So if I switch to my FlutterFlow um, project, you can actually see, and let's actually delete it so I can show you how you can add it. So I have a blank new page, and it's very important for your, for example, your colon to be a scrollable colon. If your colon is not scrollable colon, then it will actually not work. And if I try to add it, if I add it from here, and if I write stick, and you can see it's here, it's sticky header. And if I add it right now, you get this error. Cannot add sticky header to a uh, non vertical scrollable parent. And the reason for that is because your colon needs to be scrollable. If your colon is not scrollable, you will not be able to add this widget. So let's make this colon scrollable by going on the top uh, top right, not top, sorry, bottom right. And when it says scrollable, just click on the arrows and it will be scrollable now. So now I should be able to add it. If I click over here and write sticky and click it, sticky header, now I have the sticky header. So I have the sticky header over here. It's a container and then I have the text, but of course I can change it however I want to. And then I have the actual sticky header and then it's again a container and text. But like I said, I can change it to wherever I want to. I think I have to keep the containers itself because the container is the actual thing that will be the sticky part. Other than that, you can actually, you can actually change anything you want to. You can put a colon, you can put a row, you can put whatever you want to, and it should work. Okay, so let's talk about the audio recording right now. So the audio recording, it's a new widget. Previously, we didn't have this widget in FlutterFlow, and it's audio recording. So we added the new actions to start and stop audio recording, audio to integrate voice-based integrations with ease. This feature enables powerful new functionality like recording voice notes in a notes-taking app or practicing punctuations in a language app. So, like I said, previously we didn't have this, but now we have it. So we have the start, stop. So we have basically the audio recording, right? And I actually did a video about that, like one of my latest video. It's a video about that, and I just released it in my channel. And I think FlutterFlow is actually watching my channel as they are constantly trying to upgrade FlutterFlow. And I think I don't want to say it, but I think I'm inspiring them. So if I switch to my channel, now this is the video I'm talking about. It's a FlutterFlow record, play, and store recordings. And right now, this is done by custom code. This custom code is actually coming from the part of it. It's actually coming from the FlutterFlow market, but I changed it. I changed some part of it, or actually, I added some part of the code so you can actually upload your recordings to Firestore. Uh, so that's the video I did. But if we actually switch to FlutterFlow, and if I delete the sticky header because we don't need it anymore, I just wanted to show you how you can add it. I want to actually add a button over here, and let's add a new button. So let's add. Usually you do it in one button, or okay, let's try to do it in one button is probably better, and we can have something like an action over here. and we'll have a new action, and the new action will be right now. It should be recording. So it's I think it's utilities. Utilities, yes. So it's start audio recording and the name of the action. So the name of the action is this record. This record name can be used by the stop audio recording action to identify which recording to stop. Because if you have actually a multiple recordings in your app, or multiple buttons in your page or your app, you should know which one you need to stop. So let's say that this is my recording is the name of the recording. And then what I wanted to do actually, if I want to add a conditional statement, and I'm not sure if I can use the recording itself. It's probably I cannot, fortunately. But I'll do it this way. I will actually delete this one right now, and then I will do it. I'll create a page state, and I'll just say is recording or is rec, and then I'll make it boolean. I will make it non nullable, and by default I will make it false. So I will make it false. I will save this right now, and then by default it will be false. So I will have something like in the button itself, the text, it will say, I will have a condition. So have a conditional value. And I'll have the condition that I will have. It will come from page state, and it will say is recording. So if it is recording, I will say stop. But if it's not recording, I will say start. So I will say click confirm over here, and I will change those. So if I go to the action itself, it's a very simple workflow, and I'll add a conditional value. So I'll actually add the same conditional value, and this conditional value will be if it's recording, so page state is recording, and if this is equal to true, so specific value equal to true. So if it's recording, and I put it on the top, and then I will put this, I have to copy this, and if it's true, or if it's false, actually, I want to start it, but if it's already started, I want to stop it. So I have to add a new action over here, and I will say again, recording, until this stop audio recording, and this is the audio recording I want to stop. So it should work. I have a bug over here, which unfortunately I cannot see it. What is the bug I have? Okay, so stop audio recording action missing output parameter name. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good issue actually. So we'll have the action output variable name. So when we stop the recording, we will have the file, right? So let's say my recording file, for example, and then in theory we should be able to use this file to actually save it in Firestore or Firebase, or send it through an API call. So let's test it. I haven't tested that before, so let's try to test it. If I add a new action, and if I add upload, and if I say in utilities, and if I want to say upload, let's say save file, and in my case it would be any, I'm not sure if this will work, but let's see. And if I say if it's coming from a widget, and I think this will probably not work, because this will uploading a file, it will actually prompt you to select a file. But in my case over here, I want to actually use this particular file. So yeah, like I said, I will do a video about that probably in the future to see how you can do it, because I don't want this video to go very to go long in the time frame. But yeah, I'll do a video about it because right now this should actually return you the file as bytes, and then you should be able to upload it in FlutterFlow, not FlutterFlow, sorry, file-based storage or super-based storage or whatever storage you're using, using the bytes upload. But like I said, I'll probably do a separate video about it, how we can do it, because I don't want this video to be to go long in yeah. So let's move on. So let's move on to this new functionality, which is easier spacing between items. Our new item spacing property allows you to automatically apply the defined space between children in a column, row, or list view. This feature eliminates the need for manually adding padding between items, simplifying and accelerating how you build layouts. And this is actually much appreciated as well, because previously you have to deal with the mess with paddings, and that was not the best thing in the world. So right now, if you have, for example, a list view, and let's switch to my FlutterFlow project right now again. So if I have a list view, then inside this view, I will have something like generate children. So I will have something like text, let's say, and then in the sticky, in the top, in the scaffold widget, which is the top widget, I can have something like add action, and then I can have a backend query, which is right now with a new query. I can have a backend query here, and I can query my files, for example. I can get a multiple list of files, and then here I can say files docs, for example, will be my files. And then if I go to list view, I should be able to generate the children from variable, and then this will come from action output, and then I will put my action as an action output, and this will be an individual file. And it will say, do you want me to generate dynamic children for you? And I'll say, yes, please do that. And then we'll have this. This is the new list view properties. And the list view properties is the new thing that we didn't have previously. And we can have something like, what is the axis? Is this vertical or horizontal? And we have the item spacing, which can come from a variable as well. And the item spacing is actually applies equal spacing between items in the list view. So if I have multiple items over here, it will apply an equal spacing between those. And we also have apply to start and end, and this is a boolean. If you want to, we can check it, or if we can enable it or disable it, or we can actually use star spacing, and this can come from a variable as well, and the end spacing can come from a variable as well. And the star spacing applies spacing at the start, of course, and the end spacing applies spacing at the end. So this is the new properties. It's again a great UI improvement to the FlutterFlow functionalities, and it's much appreciated. Like I said, I will not mess with that right now, but feel free to mess with it, and feel free to let me know in the comments what do you think about it, and what is the properties or the values that you use for your own projects. Are you going to use properties that are coming from variable? Are you going to use strict variables? Because to be honest, if I ask me, probably using strict one, I mean, I don't see why you have to use it from variables. What is the use case for use it from variables? But maybe if your data is constantly changing, maybe you can use it then. So let's move on. Major updates from this update And those parts of updates features is search Unsplash for images, and as our new Unsplash integrations allow you to browse and add a beautiful stock images from inside FlutterFlow. Now the perfect image is just a click away. And let me show you how that looks like. If we go to FlutterFlow, you can add a simple image right now. And every time you add an image, actually, it is adding a random image from Unsplash because FlutterFlow is working with Unsplash. And previously, if you want to change this image, you have to manually find an image in Unsplash or some other stock images bank. But right now, there is a search, so you can change this image. So if you want, for example, to be only cars, those images to be only cars, there is a search icon over here next to the path of the image. It is over here. And then when you click on it, there will be actually a new search that will pop up, and then you can actually write the image that you want, the images that you want, the topic that you want to search. So let's say I want to search for cars and I want to add the car. So let's say I want to add the small one, works best for me, works good for me, and then I can change and add another car over here. So I want my default or my images to be only with cars, so I can do it like that. So I can just go there, search for the image that I want to search, or for the topic actually that I want to search, and then find it, and uh, then use it. So right now I only have cars in my default images. So this is how you could use it in FlutterFlow, and I think it's much appreciated because sometimes you need images to be in a specific topic and not like coming not like having a picnic when you're building, for example, app for cars, or you get the idea. The upload file bytes, and you uh, int 8 list, which is actually bytes, can now be used in custom actions and custom functions arguments. So what that means, actually, I will actually show you now real quickly. If I go to my project info, and if I switch to my code, you can actually, you should be able to see a new argument. So if I go to, for example, custom widgets, and then if I click to the data types, now we have this, which is upload file, and this is bytes. Now this is the form of bytes. This is in my particular use cases, when I try to use it, it's not the best way you can use it, but still you can use. If your data it's actually bytes, like I show you in the audio in the audio player, I think it's returning bytes, and you can actually use it in your code. You can set it to your code, and then use it in your custom code. So let's move on to the second one, which is you can now configure it to the Kotlin version for your app, which is from settings, integrations, app details, advanced settings. So let's actually try and go over there. So let me just switch to my FlutterFlow project. So it's settings, integrations, app details, and then it's in advanced. So it's over here. You have to expand it actually. It's advanced settings, and this is the Kotlin version. If you're using Kotlin, configure the Kotlin version for your Android app. Leave empty to use the current default, which is 1.7.10, and for currently recording at the time of currently recording this video. And then this one is you can now define the cursor cover and custom error messaging styling for text fields. That's great, actually. I'll not show you that, but it's when you use the text fields, you can actually change the covers right now. Previously, you cannot. It was not that was not possible. And then this one is we organized our actions list and added 3 new categories: state management, utilities, and integrations. So FlutterFlow is actually reorganizing the action list. If you ask me, this is good, but some part it's not good, because the reason for saying that is that right now it's very good because everything is collapsed, and not everything but almost everything. The navigation is not collapsed, and the app action block is not collapsed for some reason. But the thing is if I search for something, let's say recording, for example, I don't like that. Uh, so let's switch to my FlutterFlow, and let's show you. So if I search for something, if I added a new action, and if I search for something, let's say for recording, uh, those categories, the only categories that the recording it is, are those 4 letters that is it's now showing. And it's showing in navigation because I have page called recorder, and that's why it's showing. And I have the utilities, which is of course start and stop the audio recording. But unfortunately, when you use it, when you're searching right now for some action, which is how I'm using FlutterFlow like 99% of the time, because there are a lot of actions. I don't know mostly where it is, which action where it is, and I want to search. I'm actually searching it like that. I'm just typing the action I want to use. But fortunately, the actions are collapsed right now, and I really don't like that. And I hope that will actually change that in the future. And when we're searching for something, they will be all expanded, so they will be automatically expanded like that. So that would be great. And the last thing that we're going to talk is that we are added the shortcut to open the right-click widget menu for Mac and for Windows. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not actually using the shortcuts in FlutterFlow. I'm actually using only the base one: copy, paste, cut, and so on. Uh, so what about you guys? Can you actually write me in the comments below which actions, which shortcuts are you using? Because that's interesting for me. And then we can actually move to the bugs fixes. I'll not read them, but you can actually post a bug fix, not a bug fix, but sorry, bug or issue if you have in the GitHub issues tracker, if you have any issues. And then the last thing is new features we're working on. So they're definitely working on directory organization for custom code, which will be folders. So we'll have actually folders for our custom code. And they said like 1 or 2 updates ago. They're working from of it, so that's definitely coming. And then we have the infinity scroll across more widgets. So, like I said in the last time, I hope that the code and the row and the grid view are the ones that they are talking about. And then this one, it's 4 loops, 4 actions. So that's great actually, because right now we don't have 4 loops for actions. And the only technique that I can think of right now without using a custom code, if you want to loop through actions, is actually using using timer, so we can have like but that's not the best way of doing it. We need to use a for loop action for that. This would be the best way of doing it. And then we have actions on data change, which is great actually, and that means that if some data has changed, we can execute an action, and previously we didn't have that as well, of course, because it's a new feature that is coming. So thank you very much for watching. And before you go, I just want to let you know that I set up a Discord channel, which will be for my 3,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for everyone who subscribed to the channel. The Discord channel will be officially announced when I reach the 3,000 subscribers. It is well structured. It will be well structured with the general tab, which you can see the info, the news, You will have also click to talk, so you can actually talk to other members of the channel. And we have the YouTube videos as well, where you can see all the YouTube videos. You can also have, if you want to, if you want to request a video, you can go to video requests, and then we have the paid members from YouTube, which they have a separate channel where they can talk. I also have from the mentoring sessions, we have the paid members. And then it's structured by backend, FlutterFlow, API calls, Superbase, SQLite. And then you have the design, where you can ask design questions. We have the custom code, which is code expressions, custom functions, custom widgets, custom actions, and FlutterFlow source code. We can talk about the FlutterFlow source code as well. And we have integrations as well, pub dev packages, platforms, if you want to integrate different platforms. We have the general integrations. And then we have, you don't see it from my face, but we have also the settings. We have the dynamic links, we have the push notifications, we have the app settings, we have the Android deployment, we have the iOS deployment, and we have the web deployment. And the last thing that we have is actually we have the languages, and we have other languages. So we have like Swedish, for example, Spanish, Portuguese, other languages that people from those countries or those languages can talk in their own language. So yeah, like I said, thank you very much for all the subscribers. And before you go, I just want to say that the paid membership for YouTube is now open. So you can be a paid member to my YouTube channel, which means a lot. And thank you very much for all the people who are right now paid members to the channel.